Action.
Okay.
Action.
Okay.
Oh god. And yes, folks, and today we have our in-house experts who are going to break it down as simple as possible. Oh my god. And yes, we have our two amazing.
If you're someone who's afraid of accounting migration, this episode is for you. Welcome back to Zen Talks, where we decode Zoho Books one question at a time.
And yes, we have our in-house experts here, Mr. Jose and Mr. Vijay, to break it down as simple as possible.
So, hi Vijay, hi Jose, how are you doing?
Hello
Yeah,
guys.
good. How are you guys?
We are doing great.
Splendid.
So,
Let's get started. Okay, so let's not waste a lot of time. So our clients are waiting to know more questions related to what we do. So we'll talk about CBooks migration itself. So let's split it into two different CBooks, which is Zoho Books, and the migration part.
Okay.
So in simple words, can you explain what is Zoho Books?
Zoho Books is an online accounting software which helps you to completely manage your finances. So it helps you to send invoices, track your payments, manage your expenses, and you can also get all the finance reports and also GST related compliance. All you can get in a single unified platform. So it is basically like you don't have to enter everything manually. It will help you do all the automated calculations. So it will help your financial process easily.
Basically like an automated process for tracking your finance.
Yes,
exactly.
Okay,
Nice.
got
okay,
it.
so that pretty much covers what Zoho Books is. So now, Vijay, just explain us who should use Zoho Books, like a freelancer, small business, like who is best at.
Yeah, maybe startups, like is it required for them.
See, I would say that it's not restricted to any such business users or something.
Okay.
So it's like people like freelancers, business owners, any startup or a growing company can definitely use Zoho Books. So it gives, as Jose was telling, it is giving a complete financial related insights within Zoho Books. So you have an end-to-end accounting captured within Zoho Books. So it really not stopping us to use for a specific sector, I would say.
Okay, so anyone can still use it, even if
Definitely.
it's small businesses or if it's a huge companies also.
Right.
Got it. So my question is basically, why do we actually need an accounting software itself? Because we have been following Excels for a long time.
Right.
So what does this mainly fix?
So Excel is really good, but when your transactions increases, so that will be difficult to handle. And when the transactions are more than a particular limit, there will be common errors happening. So it will be difficult to maintain all these records, and you will have to enter all the data manually. So eventually it will lead to a mess. So in Zoho Books, what we do is this, it is all like a forms. So once you enter it, it becomes automated. All the tax calculations, all the payment tracking, all the financial reports, all things are automated. So it helps you to save the time. And eventually it will help the business owner to get that clear picture of how their business is working. And he just have to go to that particular application and just understand it.
Got it. So basically it has its own workflow, like a memory of itself.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so maintaining this accounting in Zoho Books is one part, I say. So what about this taxations and GST?
True,
Can
yeah.
Zoho Books help with that?
Definitely. See, Zoho Books has this GST mainly focused.
Okay.
So we have this tax components. So it is like you set up the tax rates, tax slabs, whatever you have. So that is that like primary setup which you will have to do.
Okay.
So with this, you can completely handle your GST filings, meaning the GST IT filings you do, right? So that is also incorporated within Zoho Books. So tax rates, it gets auto for a particular like if it is a state. There's a different ITR filing. If it is a particular location, there is overseas transaction, there is tax related transactions, right? So everything is already built in within Zoho Books. So it's simply you can easy to use.
Got it. So anybody can use it without any much of complications.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
So Zoho Books does support this multi-currency.
Yes, it does. So that's the best part actually. So you need not manually do the tax rates. So it has a default exchange feeds, which is I think it is open rate which is connected. So you have this transactions which is whatever currency rate we have in INR, it automatically converts based on the transaction which you do.
Okay.
Within the invoice, you have this switch option, like you're based on the customer, based on the transaction which he does, meaning the currency rate which has to be fixed. So automatically it gets updated based on the customer and the transaction which we do.
Got it.
That was really nice. I would say that was one of the best feature of Zoho Books.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, okay. So next question is like, when a new client approaches you for Zoho Books, what kind of questions do you ask starting to set up?
So we start with like asking what is the company details. So each organization will have their basic details. Then we will be asking like what is the GST related information. So GST registration information. And we will be asking their bank account details. Then we will have information related to the masters. Like we should be getting their customer master. We want their vendor master and chart of accounts. So that is also a master. So we want all these reports, as well as we also need their financial opening balance. So all this information is required to set up this Zoho Books according to the business process which is aligned to their business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say these questions were sorted out and some client approaches you for ZBooks migration service. Do you check their current accounting software before moving?
Yes, definitely. It helps us a lot to understand what accounting software they are managing. For example, they can be using like Excel, which is not even like a big structured accounting software, or it can be like a Tally, or it can be a QuickBooks account, or it can be a Zoho.
Okay.
So we have to completely go through this accounting software which they are using, so that we have to understand how much structured the data is and what is the format they are following, so that how can it be made aligned to what Zoho is following. Then only the correct migration can be done with the purpose.
So now that you brought up Excel, QuickBooks and all, let's say they are using some other accounting software apart from Zoho. How do you even evaluate whether the migration is needed or not? Because it's not like the accounting softwares are bad or something like that. What is that one shift they need?
See, maybe I'll rephrase this question like, why do we really need to shift from another ecosystem, from another already existing software, right? See, Zoho Books and comparing to other tool, one major thing is client, whatever we have faced till date is like client comes stating that we don't have enough financial insights. We don't have enough reports. Very quickly we can generate a report, but that's not there in their tool. That's what we have been faced. And I would tell that the client is not having that complete picture of their business. See, Zoho Books is connected to most of the tools. Like if I take CRM, maybe starting from marketing, CRM, we have operations, we have HR, and it is connected to books, to the accounting tool. So I would consider accounting tool as the tool which is getting connected with all the departments.
Okay.
So that is something is missing in the tools which is available in the market. Like there are a standalone tool which I would call it. So they're like isolated. They don't really talk to other departments. So clients face that problem as they don't really know where the financial is coming, where it is going, what is really happening. Is a big confusion there. So that is really not there in Zoho Books because it is connected. It has default integrations with other Zoho applications. So that's the major reason for people to migrate to Zoho Books.
Got it. That actually summarize like how you analyze the client before you start up the work itself.
Exactly, right.
That does actually make sense because Zoho shines here with their shared ecosystem. It's not about just Zoho Books actually. You can do the same with Zoho CRM and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
It has default integration with most of the applications.
So let's say how do you understand the client's business model before setting up Zoho Books? Like some R&D is definitely needed depending upon client's current software. Right? Like how do you guys do that before migration?
So just as we mentioned before, we'll have to completely analyze their nature of business.
Okay.
So then like if we go, we have to drill it deeper actually. Then we have to understand how do they do the payments? How do they manage the expenses? For example, if we are like looking into their financial data, we have to understand how do they send their invoices. So for example, do they have a product, or do they offer services, or do they have a subscription model. So based on this, all these invoice systems, the payment, the tracking, all these expenses will be different. Okay, so based on that, we will have to evaluate, and then we have to go forward, and then only we can get a proper migration happening then.
Got it. So basically, from you have to learn what they do first, then only you can able to process it according to it.
We'll have to understand the process, like in
core
terms of
process of
accounting.
it.
So we categorize like sales, purchase, and accounts. So basically, these are some of the things which we have to understand before, and accordingly we can do the migration.
Got it, got it. So if I'm not wrong, you have to put yourself in the situation to analyze how to do it.
Definitely, we will have to do that.
And also, not to summarize it, this is something new for me, that for service based and product based, the setup of Zoho Books is different.
Yes.
Something new.
Yeah, for example, if it is subscription based,
Okay.
then the invoice will be recurring. So based on that, we'll have to set it up.
That's quite interesting, actually. So if I'm not like, can I know like what are the kind of documents you'll be expecting from the clients to start the setups?
For the migration, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. See, so for the migration, we would require the basic things, like we would require the organization information, like what's the company's name, their GST, warehouse information, branch details. Plus, we need the master informations, like master meaning it is the item master, the customer master, vendor information, and the chart of account. So these are the primary information which we need to start the migration.
Okay.
Plus, if the client tells us like they need a maybe a 10-year of data migration, then we would like to have their invoice, the transaction information,
Understood, basically.
invoice, sale order, purchase order, bill. So all these are Zoho has its own format in which the client have to share, which we will also help them with.
So whenever this accounting software terms comes up, the one thing that runs in every business owner's mind is this data, because it is initially the crucial part. So how do you make sure that the data you are receiving from the client is accurate or not?
I'm also curious about that.
Everyone is.
So we actually review the data carefully,
Okay.
and then we compare the totals with the financial reports or the bank
Transactions. Okay.
And if we find that if there is some kind of mismatch between the data, then we will just go to the client, and we will completely clarify whether the data is correct or not. And after this careful clarification is being done, then only we will just migrate the data. So this helps us as well as the client to migrate the data in an accurate way.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
So basically, like I just want to so the data you told. So once you receive the data, is there any specific format, or what if it is like completely messy or maybe incomplete and all?
Yeah, see, Zoho also has some formats in which it intakes the data, the format basically. So Zoho's format client might not be having. So basically we ask to share it in an Excel. Whatever export they get from the old software, we ask them to give it in an Excel sheet, and we verify whether we have any duplicates, we have any missing data, we have any error in the data. So which client has to do the first level of screening, vet the data once, and share the data to us.
Okay.
Plus, we internally, our migration team sits and first evaluates the data. So that's the primary work which we do, screening the data, checking if there's any duplicates, mismatched records, and make sure we take a call with the client and make sure if any confusions or data is not very clear, we make sure it is consistent, it is properly in place before we do the actual import.
I guess that is going to be the most time-consuming period of the whole.
Exactly.
process.
Yeah, that's like most commonly seen thing
Understood.
across the migrations what we have done.
Once we figure it out, then it will be a smooth, little more flow.
Yes,
of that.
yes,
Got it,
right.
got it, okay.
So that pretty much covers up all these data problems and all. So let's say the client decides to take
Move
the
forward.
migration service. What is the first thing you guys set up in Zoho Books for them?
So as I was talking about in previous questions what you asked, so the first thing we take care of is the organization settings, which is the company settings. We take the name, the company information, the address information, the tax details, whether it is a GST registered company, what is the tax slab which they're involved in, how many branches they have, warehouse they have, and plus this we also need their financial balances, opening balance, closing balance as on specific date. So these are some of the primary information which we need for the import.
Okay, so this entire ZBooks migration service covers up the previous transaction and data they have. So what about these upcoming transactions? Like, do you guys integrate with the client's bank account, and like how this bank account integration
The
process
setup works.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that actually, because this will help a client a lot, because this bank statements, all these bank statements will automatically appear in the Zoho Books.
Okay.
So this will clearly help him in the bank reconciliation. And when that happens, they are easily able to segregate the data. So this will help them to understand the cash flow in a better way.
So when you mentioned it will automatically transfer all the transactions, so the client doesn't have to do any manual entry, right?
See, Zoho Books has this banking integration.
Okay.
There are specific banks which can be integrated. So you can directly update your bank credentials on Zoho Books, and automatically the data gets synced with Zoho Books. Okay, you get the feeds, you get the transactions automatically within Zoho Books. Manually, where there is a need from a user's perspective, is basically the reconciliation, as Joseph was mentioning. You will have to categorize the transactions. That's the only point where people's intervention is required. However, the bank is automatically synced. The feed is synced basically.
So for this categorization, can we have some default categories created?
Yes, that's the chart of accounts basically. We have the account header, we have sub accounts. Basically, you can make sure which account where it has to be debited, credited. So that categorization can be done within this banking module.
Okay, so the entire migration process was cleared now. So after everything was set up, the migration and everything was done, what happens next? Because clients might have few doubts, because for them Zoho Books is very new
to them,
platform.
yeah.
So
Right.
do you guys give them a daily walkthrough of how they have to add all the
And I was
transactions?
curious about it. Like, how will they know what's the
Yes.
data and what they should do?
Yes. See, after the migration process is complete, after the complete data migration is done, we give them a walkthrough, take them through the application based on what data is given from them, what is imported to the system. We give them a complete walkthrough. That's the first step. So once the client is satisfied and assure that all the data is transferred to their books account, then we take a training with the users. So basically, it can be a SPOC or to a set of accounting team. So we give them a complete training of understanding, making sure the team is understanding what the module is for, what is chart of account, what is in sales, how the process of invoices, how a bill can be done. So this training is given by our team to the client's accounting team, and we are making sure the client is satisfied, the client is happy with the flow and their hands-on experience with the books account.
Got
Okay.
it.
So after the setup and training, I'm pretty sure there will be few doubts and queries coming up from
Definitely.
the client end. So do you guys give any post-migration support?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We actually give them support. So they might need support in this bank reconciliation
Okay.
things, and in the normal workflows, and in the financial reports, how to handle this financial reports. So for all these things, we will give them supports. And as their business is again growing, they might need support in the advanced automations,
Okay.
like integrations and the analytics, which like advanced analytics. So for all these things, we can give support. We will be giving support.
So for let's say for a very basic company, for a very small industry, I don't think this analytics part and all is needed with the very initial stage. So is it a mandatory analytics setup, or we can just skip it in the very initial stage?
It's like when the company is small, the Zoho Books give enough of reports from the Zoho sites itself. So that is enough to actually satisfy all their requirements, in the sense of like whatever reports they want, everything will be available. But when the company is growing, the workflow or the business process flow becomes little bit complex in a way that they need a little more complex data analytics. So for that, we may have to integrate with the Zoho analytics. So you will get custom data, whatever you want in a particular requirement, in a single dashboard. So for that only you have to integrate with the Zoho analytics. Otherwise, for small industries, it is fine.
Just to interrupt, so Zoho Books has its own analytical reports available within
Built in.
it. So you need not customize anything. See, financial reports, meaning the P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, the AR, AP, these are some of the mandatory reports. So this is already customized, available in Zoho Books. So you just have to apply filters, check which year data you want to check, or specific account you want to check, that is there in the Zoho Books already. So what Jose was telling is about the analytical integration.
Okay.
So I think I'm a CEO, I'm a admin. So I want to holistically look at a MIS report. So that is when analytics is going to add up to the complete reporting.
Right.
Okay, too many accounting terms. So I have one other basic question. Okay, I know it is very simple, but does Zoho Books support mobile version?
Just like that.
Definitely.
It do.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's so cool because Zoho Mobile has a very good UI, I would tell, and you can access it anywhere. So people nowadays are handy, right? They want to use it on
Exactly.
the go,
On the go.
right? And wherever they want, they don't need not come to office,
Your vacation
physically
times.
be available. Exactly. So mobile version is definitely available. So as you see in web, exactly it is available on the mobile with a better version.
Yeah,
that's
and you
really
can perform all the activities which you
Yes.
do in this desktop version, which we can do in the mobile version also.
Okay, that will make life much more easier.
Actually.
So Vijay and Jose, from your experience, I know you handle way too many clients for this migration. So from what you handle, what are the most common questions that client used to come up with after migration?
So after migration, it is basically the navigation,
Okay.
how things can be handled. They can specifically the accounting team will come on the GST filings, how banking module can be integrated, how statement of a particular account can be extracted, how financial reports can be derived from Zoho Books, and how it can be handled. So these are some of the common questions we get, and our team, I was talking about the training, right? So we give a complete training, and we also give a 15 days of post support. So after the migration is completed, we make sure the client is completely handhold of the Zoho Books completely.
Okay.
So that's been made sure, and if they have any more questions or doubts, we definitely here to support.
Okay, that pretty much sums up the entire journey of migration.
Actually, from the beginning of discovering the client to the end of client getting their application in their mobile itself. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
that sums up the whole part of the CBooks migration itself.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a pretty good insight
Yes,
for
it was.
us also. We did learn more things, and if I'm not wrong, even clients also got to know how we work personally. So this is
Right.
basically, there's no covering up or anything, no sugarcoating. It's basically the raw thing of how we in ZBook migration works.
Definitely. Right.
So thanks a lot, Joe.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Vijay. For
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I guess we should have more frequent sessions like this to get
Definitely.
more information for them.
Obviously,
Yeah,
we
sure.
will do. We'll do that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
If today's episode helped you understand Zoho Books better, share this with someone who uses 5 spreadsheets and calls it accounting. This is Zen Talks, where we simplify complex Zoho system and turn them into clear and practical workflows. I'm Deepthi.
And guys, make sure that you go and check out the link in the description. We are providing a 15 days of free Zoho Book application. And also we do provide you free consultation regarding any migration. Please do contact us. Make sure to subscribe the channel for new updates whenever we post. And I'm Jerry signing off. Bye-bye.